This week on Big Boys TV, we're headed to Nevada for my very first antelope hunt. I've never been on an antelope hunt before, and this is a species that I've always wanted to go after, so I'm really excited to just hunt something new. After a long day of travel, we arrived at Western Frontier Outfitters. My dad had hunted with Rick in the past for mountain lion and noticed that there was a bunch of antelope, which led to scheduling this hunt. We visited with them, got to know some of their pets, and got settled into camp. We didn't want to waste any time, so I filled out my paperwork and we headed out to the field to see if we could find an antelope either for tonight or for the next morning.
We're just scouting for some antelope and we found a group of them, and there's a decent buck in the group, so we're just taking a look at it. And I'm excited. I've never shot an antelope before, so this will be my first one.
We caught up with a couple good-sized groups, but didn't see any respectable bucks to go after. Being the first night, it was just nice to see how the antelope travel, get a feel for the size of buck I'm looking for, and ultimately just enjoy the views. When we return, we head out on our first morning in hopes that we find a mature buck to go after. Stay tuned, Big Boys TV will be right back.
This segment brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Welcome back. We're in Nevada on my very first antelope hunt. We went out on the first night for the last few hours in hopes to find a mature buck. We were able to find multiple groups of antelope, but nothing worth going after. It's our first morning in Nevada, and it didn't take us long to locate a mature buck.
Okay, we've got a nice antelope out here chasing a bunch of does around, so we're gonna see if we can't get closer to get a shot. Let's go. We're just trying to get closer to this group antelope we've got in front of us. There's a nice buck in the group, and he's pushing these does all over the place. So we're just trying to creep closer or hope that he'll push them this way. So
get in shooting range.
Yeah, we gotta get him into shooting range. We'll see. We're just trying to stock up on this antelope, but it looks like he may have a broken paddle, so Not really sure what we're gonna do, but we're gonna try to get closer to him and get a really good look at him and see if he's a shooter or not. But he's chasing these does all over the place and just can't seem to get close enough to him.
Unfortunately, that buck never stopped so we could get a good look at him. So we decided to go look at some other groups in the area and then maybe come back and get a good look at him after he was wore out. Not long after we left to find some more antelope, we ran into a bit of a problem.
Sure. Just our luck, we got a flat tire. So we're taking time out of our day to get the tire from underneath this and replace it. This just happened to us a couple weeks ago in Michigan too. But got these guys.
It didn't take long and the tire was changed. Just shortly after, we ran into a beautiful mule deer still in velvet. It's always nice to see what other animals live in the area. This buck is lucky I didn't have a tag with his name on it. When we return, we find a mature buck to go after, and I finally get to take a shot at my first antelope. Stay tuned. Big Boys TV will be right back.
Hunter Safety System introduces the Limit Shield, the first ever scent control harness.
If you're just joining us, we're in Nevada hunting antelope. We've been seeing plenty of antelope and even got a stalk on a nice buck, but unfortunately was unsuccessful. It's now day 3 and our last day to hunt, so we have to make something happen today.
We're trying to get an antelope this morning, and we just came up here and there's a decent one with a group of does, and so hopefully he's big enough and we can go make a stalk up on him.
The group that we found was in front of an old house, so we decided to use the house and the objects around the house for cover. After hopping over a few fences, we finally got to the old house, but the does were on to us, so we decided to set up on an old brick wall and see if we could get the shot.
Well, we just got pretty close, but I had this fence right in the way and I was worried that I was going to hit it, and before we could get adjusted to get the fence out of the way, they ran off, so just my luck.
We went back to the truck to grab some lunch and regroup.
We just flat let one get away. That's part of hunting. It wasn't because we weren't trying, and we didn't get up early. But we did let one get away. He's a pretty nice buck, but we might be able to get him again later.
While we were eating, we noticed that this buck was pushing the does back to us, so we ran back to the fence, but we had another problem. We had cows and horses between us and the antelope. I wasn't going to try to shoot between these cows, so we decided to use them as cover to get as close as we could and hopefully get a shot. Oh, and I hate cows. I don't like to be anywhere near them, so I just think about cows and I just don't like them. We broke away from the cows and I got ready to take a shot. But they were all grouped up, so I had to wait for this buck to step out so I could take a shot. And he did just that. Don't go anywhere. Big Boys TV will be right back. This segment is brought to you by Whitetail Institute. Research equals results. When we left, I was just about to take a shot on an antelope. Let's get back to the action and see what happens. But they were all grouped up, so I had to wait for this buck to step out so I could take a shot. And he did just that. I missed, and the antelope took off before I could get another shot. This wasn't very steady. Huh? I was
Breathe,
trying
girl.
to,
You're like, I'm not Eric. Just trying to hold it steady.
I'm trying to hold it steady.
breathe.
And I was quite upset. After 3 days of chasing these antelope and then missing, it was such a bummer. But we still had half a day left, so we got back in the truck and searched for another mature buck. It must have been my lucky day, because not long after we got in the truck, we spotted a mature buck way off in the distance that we decided to go after.
All right, we've got a group of antelope behind us, and there's a decent buck, so we're gonna try to get up close and set up on him and see if we can get a shot. Let's go.
We had very little cover, so we decided to get down on all fours and start crawling to get closer. We got to 450 yards and the antelope started to get spooky, so we decided to set up and try to get the shot.
Okay, Jada. It's about 450 yards. It's like, put it right behind his shoulder. It's
He would not stay still, and at 450 yards, I was not about to take the chance. So we waited for him to stop so I could take a perfect shot.
Oh my God, no way.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that's a long freaking shot. Oh my, I have never shot anything that far. That was a 400 and some yard shot. Oh my gosh, that was insane. We've been chasing freaking antelope for the past couple days, but haven't been able to get a good spot on them. And then finally we get these guys, and it was a long ways out there, but I held him on there and I squeezed the trigger and he went down. I cannot believe it. I've never shot anything that far away. That was absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh.
I was overjoyed. To be able to get an antelope on the ground after missing earlier in the day was such a relief. And to be able to pull off a 450-yard shot was the icing on the cake. After a couple days hunting here in Nevada, I finally got my antelope. We've been hunting for 3 days. It's been very stressful, just couldn't seem to get on one, and finally I took a shot at 400 yards, my longest shot ever. I can't thank Rick Hankins with Western Frontier Adventures enough. Definitely couldn't have done it without him, especially that 400-yard shot. He talked me through it and we got it down. I'm absolutely thrilled. This is my first antelope ever and I couldn't be happier. We had a great time in Nevada. The antelope gave me a run for my money, but I was able to prevail, and I was so happy to have my first antelope on the ground. But our hunt doesn't end there. Next week on Big Boys TV, we're still in Nevada hunting elk with my bow, and I have an encounter that every elk hunter wishes they could have. Until then, keep in touch with us on Facebook, Instagram, and BigBoysTV.com. Deep breath. It's gonna be okay. Okay, ready? Well,
Start over.
yeah, I know. I forgot. Let's get